Greetings, this is Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator, with a little extra video in the Pillar Loves Tabletop game series. Honorable mentions, the games I like, but will not be featured on the tier list. Silverton, a game of building and running railroads in Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Texas. You are trying to make money by spending money on mines and trains and passenger routes, and eventually trying to reach a goal. I love it just because it's set in the state where I live, and I love my state, and I love business too, and trains are pretty cool. Splendor, a little game of gathering gems, buying cards, using the cards discounts to get higher level cards, getting points from those cards, and getting points from nobles by having enough cards. I love it because it's a quick, simple game. I don't have to think too hard to teach it. Uh, I highly recommend the expansion, Cities of Splendor, so you can play the game 4 additional different ways. And it's just a nice little game. Clash of Cultures, Monumental Edition, a game of discovering and settling and harvesting, developing, building, making your civilization as good as it can be. This one includes all the expansion stuff that you would otherwise have to get separately with the old version. So that's pretty nice. It also has plastic wonders instead of the cardboard sandies. I just love it because there's so many possibilities to try out. My main gripe is the resource trackers. I always prefer like tokens and coins over any kind of tracking system. Shadowhunters, a game of secret identities and brutal combat. It is a quick little game of rolling dice to go places and get things, do stuff, gain information on who is who, whether or not they're on your side, get equipment, and then just fight people. I love it because it's fast and it's kind of silly and entertaining. You can play it a whole bunch of times in an evening and just have so much fun. What I said before about the board game market in StarCraft, yeah, it really applies to this one. Good luck getting a copy. Great Western Trail, a game of building your deck of cows, taking them along the trail towards the train station, uh, utilizing buildings to help you with getting money or more cows or buildings or more people to help you out. And ultimately a game of victory points where you're trying to have the most through your stations and buildings and higher level cows and all sorts of stuff. I love it because I love the Wild West and all that stuff. It's it's a little tricky sometimes to teach people the first time, teach how to play. I know I've forgotten a couple things, but it is a good game. I stand by it. Eclipse, a game of exploring space, fighting ancient entities, expanding your empire, developing technologies, improving your ships, and trying not to go bankrupt. Because you do need to budget things properly. What I love about Eclipse is the customization between the different technologies and actually modifying your ships to do certain things, and being able to explore space and all that stuff. I have a ton of expansions for it. I know there's a new version, but I'm probably just going to stick with the one that I have right now. Hyperborea, a game of building your bag of cubes and using them to do actions like having more cubes to draw and getting crystals and advances for your civilization and fighting, moving, defending yourself. I like that there's a big kind of discovering the ruins kind of feature for the game, and the bag building cube system is pretty cool. Um, the little figures are kind of nice as well. It's a game I really didn't hear a whole lot about when I first picked it up, and after playing it at least once, I think it's a pretty solid game. I think more people ought to try it out. Descent Journeys in the Dark, a game of dungeon crawling, monster fighting awesomeness. Built off the engine uh, used for the Doom board game, which I'll be discussing for my Ghost collection. Uh, it's it's fun. It's you're fighting against an overlord player who's in control of the monsters and traps and all that. And I like that whole group of heroes versus a single bad guy type of gameplay. I'm kind of annoyed with the some of the automation that they've done for later editions. It's like I wanna be the bad guy. I wanna control the monsters and do all the crazy stuff. I think that's like so much fun than just fighting an app or a card system sometimes. But yeah, Descent, great fun times, man. New Angelus, a game of offers and counter offers and agendas and trying to maintain your freedom of running your business in New Angeles against a potential federal takeover. I love cyberpunk. I love business, and I kind of love that this is sort of pandemic for bastards. Because you're trying to not let the bad things screw everyone over. At the same time, you're trying to come out on top. And there is one person possibly trying to screw everything over. It's a little bit Battlestar Galactica on that end. In fact, it even uses a similar system of action cards for Battlestar Galactica. So I'm kind of glad the system got reused in that context. But it's another money tracker, resource tracker game where I almost use would rather use dice or tokens. But it's okay. In Game of Thrones, the board game, a game of secret orders and control. You play as one of the factions, trying to take over certain spots in Westeros, and trying to also hold supply locations to have groups of more than one army unit, and places where you can consolidate lots of power. Um, I've never gotten into the books or the TV series, but I like this game because of the strategy and sneakiness, and sometimes you need to work with people. It's very diplomacy light, um, and I actually have diplomacy, and I don't think diplomacy is going to hit the table anytime soon. But I'm sure I'm more likely to get this one going. I think it's cool. The two-player classics of Go, Shogi, Chess, and Backgammon. Um, they're they're the classics. You probably know at least one of them. I particularly like Go a lot. I really want to get Shogi going as well, but I can play chess and backgammon's fun too. I just love that they're timeless games, and I like to see more people try some of the other ones aside from chess. I would like to find somebody to play these games with. Even chess. I'm sure there are reasonable people out there you can play chess with and have it be a nice time and fun. Or just a two or two teams of two-player game of having certain types of chips available to you and drawing them and using them to get more or deploy them onto the battlefield and move them around and attack people and take over control spots. The expansions for it. I love this game and I really want to play it with other people, but for now I think it's a really awesome game. I hope it becomes really super popular and lots of people play it. I actually have a little wooden treasure chest that I keep it in, just because it's more fun that way. Okay, I know it's not a game, but as someone who appreciates being able to have upgrades and to use them on other things as well, I just want to shout out to the freaking Scythe coin upgrade idea, because I don't like trackers and all that, so these are just like perfect for games like New Angelus and games that don't have enough money like freaking Megacorps and Planet Steam. Like that, if I'm playing Planet Steam, I'm probably taking out the everything that's not a 50 or 100 and just using those coins. And Isaribi, which uses a tracker, and this Axis and Allies, which the version I've got now doesn't come with the money, so that's like perfect. It's those little upgrades that keep me sane, that I have a lot of appreciation for, and I think the people who thought, hey, let's provide more coins, granted it's intended for Scythe, but just useful in general. So yeah, this has been my honorable mentions out of my collection. This between this and the tier list, it's probably just under half my games. There are others as well that are just they're okay or they're good, but I don't really feel like talking about them that much. But yeah, this has been the honorable mentions section. Thank you for listening. This has been Pillar Nexus. See you at the tier list.